Yes.
No, it's fine. You can't go now.
See, I'll come right now.
No, it's fine. Then you have to sit. You will find means of getting there.
See, I did someone to help me. He just I was not, my mother sent me to go and buy rice. When I came, she told my sisters that they should tell me can go for them. So I'll come back later. See, my sister.
Hey, Letitia, make me a host.
Hold up. Yeah, I was trying to say the YouTube things first.
You are live. Okay. So we have, I think we have everybody on there now. We have the Ejura group. We have the Antique group. We have the, is this the, so you can turn the video on so that we can say hi to everybody before we start. We can say, so you can see everybody. Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay. I see the Fanti people. The gallery. I see the Fanti people. Yeah, I see Mr. Yaya over there. So where is the other group? And do we have the tower? Do you have the computer case? Where is the computer case? Good, good, good. I see the Fanti people. What about the giraffe? Where is the computer case? Yeah, let me see that. We are not doing anything with the laptop now. We are doing with the computer case. Okay, good. So can the Idra people open it? Open the case. Open there. Go ahead. Oh. So yeah, open it. The Idra people open it. Thank you. You see how right now how you can easily open it. Yeah, so open it. The Fanti people, I don't see your, I used to see your, yep, that is good. Yep, that is good. Okay. So what about the Tema group?
I have to reach the Tema on phone. I think they've not done yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let's give them like 5 minutes and let's get them. Let's try to get them on board. Because yeah, the Fanti people are already doing some things. Hey, they've already taken part of a radio. These people mean business. So it looks like today the Fanti people are going to teach us because they've been able to open all these things. Okay, Tema, I see Tema. Tema trying to come in. I think Tema is logged in now. So we want to see your case, just as Frante and Edra have their case on their table. Okay, thank you, Tema. Okay, I see the tower. I see the tower over the case. Okay, so let's start. So right now we have the Frante people. I can see the case. I can see the Tema case, and also Edra. I can see all the cases. So which is good. So last week we were talking about what a computer is, and we started talking about the computer case. We are not dealing with a laptop now. We are talking about what a computer is, right? What a computer is, and we're also talking about the functions of a computer. So because of the beginning state of wherever that you are, right? The beginning state, you have to know what computer is, and you have to understand also the functions of the computer and the functions of the part. So the part of the computer, what do they do? What do the case? The case is why should they put all the element or all the parts in a case? Why should they do that? Right? So last week, I believe that getting to the end, many people were able to open their PC. I call it PC, or many people were able to open the tower, right? Or many people were able to open the computer case, and to some of the people, it was the first time them being able to open the case or the tower, right? So, which is good. At least you are able to open it and see that there is something inside. And remember that you are not breaking the computer. You are not going to spoil the computer. You are not going to mess up the computer, right? Because you have to, even if you mess up, you have to learn how to put it together. So, yeah, so last week, by the end of the day, we were able to open the tower. So who can tell me, you can type it, who can tell me what we learned last week? Last Saturday, what did we learn? You can type it there, or you can come off mute and just say, who can tell me what did we learn? You can come off mute and just say, what did you learn? Okay, so let me start with the Frante people. Frante people, what did you learn?
We learned something about motherboard, and we also computer case.
Okay. So last week, what did you actually do? What did you do? What did you do last week? You can come off mute.
We open the computer case.
Correct. You opened the computer case. So last week we opened the computer case. So Idra, when you opened the computer case, what did you see?
We see motherboard, hard drive, then power supply unit.
Okay. So if you can see all that, then Tema, what is the importance of the case? No, we couldn't hear you.
The case is used to protect the things in the motherboard.
Yeah, Tema, people are talking now, right? No, you are on mute. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and speak. Okay, where is Tema? Okay, then go ahead. Oh, we couldn't hear the Tema group. We couldn't hear. I can see that you are saying something, but we couldn't hear you.
It helps to protect and hold the things in the system unit.
Thank you. So thank you. So everybody got the correct answer. The main thing is to protect the things in there. So one of the questions is that are all computer cases the same? The size of the computer case, are they all the same size? Yeah, you can answer. When you see the computer case, are they all the same size?
No.
No. Why?
No.
Yes. Yes.
Why are they not the same size?
Because the motherboard also have different sizes.
Okay. Okay. So what else? What else, Tema? No, I said that are all computer cases the same? Then Frontier people said no, because motherboard have different sizes. What else? Okay, go ahead. I think Tema is saying something. No, you are still muted. Paul from Tema is muted. So mute yourself and say something. And Miss Teresa from Tema, you are muted. Okay. So like what Frontier people said, that it depends on the motherboard, and what else? You can also type it there, I will see. Okay. Okay, so the cases are different. As I showed you guys last week that the case, if you want to look for the case depend on what you are going to put inside the computer. So I showed you that the cases come in different sizes and different shape, right? And when you look at the case depend on the motherboard. It depends on the power supply. It depends on the hard drive that we are going to use. So I showed you an example of different case. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen, then you see. Okay, so we have the same computer, right? So if you can see my screen, we have the same power supply here. Wow, I'm lost. So this is another computer. And this computer I showed you guys last week, it is not big. It's a very, very small computer. Look at how big. I don't think I have a big hand, but look at how big the computer is. Right? This is how big the computer is. And this is how big the computer is. And the computer as that big, you don't need a whole lot of big tower, right? So you will need a small tower that can fit what the motherboard. This is the motherboard. This one has its own power supply. Look at the size of the power supply. Look at the size of the power supply. This is the power supply. Right? When we get to power supply, I will show you this is power supply, right? As compared to the power supply for this. As compared to the power supply for this. So when we go, I will show you. So this computer, as big, as small as this computer is, right? We have to get a case for it. So this is the size of the computer, right? So we have to get a case for it. And this is the case of the computer. This is the case of the computer. You see the case? This is the case of the computer. And this is how it looked like, right? This is the cover. So this is the bottom cover, and this is where you open it. So this one sits on this like this, right? So the size of the computer, or the size of the motherboard, the size of the power supply, determine the size of this tower. So we can have a very small tower, we can have a medium, we can have a very large, and we can know what it is. So some tower, right? When we come to some tower is secured with screws. Some towers is just a latch over there that you just hook and it will just come out, which most of you were able to do that. I see Tema able to, they were able to. So most of you were able to open the computer and see what is going on, which for me, it is so good to see that. For me, is so good to see that. So for that one, let us all clap for ourselves. Let us all clap for ourselves, for we have done a good job. At least we have been able to open the computer and see what it is. So I have to see the Fante people and Ejura their video. Yeah, so So we are going to continue the class, right? So right now you have opened the computer. You have opened the computer. You know what a case is, right? We've opened the computer. You know what the case is. So right now, you know that when you open the computer, there was a lot of things inside the computer, correct? There was a lot of things. There was cables and things inside the computer. So which you guys saw. Okay, let me use the Tema group. So there was a lot of things inside the computer, right? And everything that is inside the computer has also cables. You saw something that looked like the motherboard. You saw the cables. You saw everything. There are things inside. So right now we are going to take the important part of it. Every part is important, but we're going to talk about the major one so that when you are sitting down, you will know exactly what this part is and what this part is not, the functions of each part in the computer. Do we all understand? If you have questions, you can just type in your questions, or you can come off mute and we're going to discuss. If you have questions, we can come off mute. So looking at this, anyone had a question? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, please, we can see your video.
Oh, yeah, I'm coming to share the video.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to talk, then I'll share the video. So the next thing that we are going to talk about, the next major thing that we are going to talk about is called the motherboard. So I'm going to show my video now. It's called the motherboard. So this is my video. Can you all see my video now?
Yes, please.
So we're going to the motherboard. So this is the motherboard. You see this green thing here, this green board, right? It's a big board. Do you guys see it? So the motherboard is the green big board, the green one. In there, do we see it? These things? All these things is the motherboard. Do we see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all these things minus the cable. So all these things is the motherboard. So the motherboard look exactly like this. Let me share so that I will take my time to make sure that you guys are looking at the motherboard. So let me show you what my motherboard. So the motherboard look like this guy, right? So the motherboard looks like this guy. So I want everyone to show me their motherboard to identify where their motherboard is. I'm going to stop sharing. So let me, Tema, can you show me, can the student identify where their motherboard is? So each one, yeah. Fancy people, can you show me your motherboard? Let me stop sharing so that I can see it well. Okay. So the motherboard, okay. Tema is showing me now. What about the Fancy people? Did the drop people run away? Okay, so where is the motherboard, Fancy? Okay. These are all the motherboard, right? Yes. People, good. Idra, I don't see your motherboard. Okay. So somebody asked a question, what is the use of the power supply on the motherboard? We'll come to that. Okay. So let us see let us be able to identify what the motherboard is. So you can see the motherboard, right? We can all see the motherboard. So if we can all identify the motherboard, right? We can all know what the motherboard is, right? Afante people, where is the motherboard? Where is the motherboard? The green stuff, right? It's the big green stuff. It's the big green stuff. The drug people came and they left. Okay, it's the big green stuff. I want to be able to take my time to go through this with you guys. If today we learn only about the motherboard, we'll continue later, but I want us to have understanding of it. So the motherboard look like, as I showed you guys, look like for this motherboard, right? For this motherboard, it looked like something like, let me get a picture and show it to you. So this is how it looked like, right? This is how it looked like. So it's just the board. You know what a board is, right? So you know what a square board is. So this is like a board, a square board, right? That has a whole lot of things that is connected to the board. So this is how the board look like. So when you look at your computer, when you look inside your computer, you will look at something like this, that there's a whole lot of things going on that board, on that green board, right? It's unfortunate that I chose a black board, a board that is black. But this is how the motherboard look like. And we are going to talk about the motherboard, what the motherboard does, what the motherboard does. So let me stop here, what the motherboard does. And let me stop, then share my computer, what the motherboard does. So this is my computer. So the green stuff, the green motherboard here, the green stuff here, right? This motherboard, this green thing, this big, let me use my right hand. This big green stuff, right? It is big. It is the motherboard, right? It is the main board. When you look at the computer, it is the main board that is screwed directly inside the computer case, right? So number one, it is screwed. This is the screw. This is the screw that is screwed inside the computer, right? That is screwed inside the computer bit. And all other cards, right? And everything plugs directly into the motherboard. Do you understand? So when I say everything connects to the motherboard, so in other words, right, the motherboard acts like is the brain of the computer, right? The motherboard is not the brain, but the motherboard is what everything is connected to. So everything in the computer is connected directly to the motherboard, right? When I say everything, once we get there, we'll see the part, different parts. So everything is connected to the motherboard. Do you understand? Everything is connected to the motherboard. So as I showed you before, the motherboard has a whole lot of things connected to it. Has a whole lot of things connected to it. So the main purpose of the motherboard is to get everything of the computer to be connected to it. So it will be like a common place that everything is connected to the computer, is connected to it, right? The reason for the motherboard is to make sure that everything that is in the computer they can communicate and operate together. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this motherboard is here so that everything in the computer will be connected to it. So that the battery, the hard drive, they will all communicate and operate together. Right? They will all communicate and operate together. So the motherboard is the one that takes care of all the communications, right? And the operations of the computer. Without a motherboard, your computer won't work, right? You need a motherboard. A motherboard is like a centralized place that everything is connected to. So you will see that in the motherboard, you will see there's a cables. There's a cables, this cable will connect to that, everything connects to that motherboard so that they can communicate, the component, different components of the computer can communicate and operate together. Do you understand? So, me saying that in your own understanding, who can tell me what a motherboard is? Who can tell me?
Motherboard.
Go ahead.
Motherboard. It is the backbone of the computer.
Okay. Some people say backbone. Thank you. What else? Yeah, some people say this.
Sir,
Hello.
motherboard is the backbone of a computer.
Okay, backbone is okay. What else?
The motherboard is the printed circuit board and foundation of a computer. That is the biggest board in the chassis.
That is the biggest board. Okay. So some people were saying a backbone, right? Some people were saying backbone. What is backbone? I said in your own terminologies or in your own terms, what is backbone? Huh? The person that says that this thing, what is the backbone?
Sir, actually don't pay.
What does it do? What does the Dompe do? Go ahead.
It supports some of the other bones in the body.
Okay. So the backbone supports other bones in your body, which is good. Which is good. The backbone supports other bones in your body. Okay. So in other words, you are saying that the motherboard does what? You just said the backbone support. So what does the support other bones in the body, right? So
the motherboard supports all the other components.
Other component, correct. Okay. Any other meaning of what the motherboard is and what it does?
Any other?
It is the hub of
Go ahead.
Say your own. Say your own.
No one there.
I'm waiting. Who else can come with the meaning of the mother board?
It is the hub of
No, we can't hear you.
is the hub of
Hey, Idra people, why are you laughing? You to say something now. What is the mother board?
It is the hub of the computer.
So Tema people said it is the what? The hub of the computer. Go ahead.
It is also called the system board or main board.
What does it do? When you say it is the system board or the main board, what does it do? Idra is not talking.
The motherboard is the printed circuit board and foundation of the computer. That is the biggest board in the chassis.
What does it do?
The motherboard is the core of the system unit.
Is the board of the system unit.
It's the core of the system unit.
Okay, so what does it do? When you say it is the core of the system unit, what is the function? What does it do for it to be the core? What is the core?
The motherboard, what's the work of it?
It contains other components of the computer.
You use the right word. So we are getting there. So sometimes, right? Go ahead.
The motherboard links all the parts of the system units.
It does what? So let me go over it again, right? I want to go over it again so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is the motherboard, right? These are the motherboard. This is the board. And when you see the motherboard, there are things connected to the motherboard, correct? You are looking at it, right? There are things connected to the motherboard. So all these things are connected to the motherboard. So everything, all the components are connected to this motherboard. The reason why it's connected to the motherboard, so that all the components that are here, they are able, the motherboard allow each component to communicate and operate together, right? So you will see on this motherboard, right? The power supply is connected to the motherboard. The hard drive is connected to the motherboard. The heat sink is connected to the motherboard. The memory card, everything is connected to the motherboard. That all the components connected to the motherboard, they can communicate and operate together.
Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
So the motherboard, as somebody said, is the backbone. When I asked what is the backbone, they said it connects something, a bone. It connects all the bones together, which is okay. So the motherboard makes sure that all the components in the computer are connected and they are able to communicate and operate together. So that's why I'm showing you what the motherboard is. And you can also look inside the computer that you've opened and just observe. So the computer that you've opened, you showed me where the motherboard is connected, right? And we said that from what you are seeing, the motherboard is screwed to the what? The case. And everything is connected to the motherboard. So look at your motherboard, the motherboard that you have there. Look inside, then explain to me what you see in the motherboard and what it does. So where should we start from? Okay, go ahead.
The fan.
No.
It cools the system unit when it heats.
Okay. Okay. So we are talking about the motherboard. So the motherboard connects the fan, right? The motherboard connects the fan. Okay. What else?
Yes,
what else is connected to the motherboard? The what?
Heat sink.
It's also connected to the motherboard. What else?
The power supply.
Okay, it's also connected to the motherboard. So when you look at it, all these things are connected to the motherboard so that they can communicate and operate together. Okay?
Yes.
So with that understanding, tell me what a motherboard is and the function of a motherboard. Is somebody talking?
Motherboard is a board that contains all the components of the computer inside the system unit.
Yeah, so that
it will work well.
okay, so that it will work well, so that they will communicate, because each
that all the components will be connected and play together and operate together.
And operate together. Who was that?
Frederick.
Oh, okay, Frederick. Thank you, Frederick. Who else? Who else?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Motherboard is a board that helps the computer to function properly.
Okay. Who else can tell me what a motherboard is?
Motherboard is a main board that is inside the system unit in which all the boards connect to it.
Okay. All the what connect to it?
All the components connect to it.
Okay. And what does it do after it connects to it? Okay. So today we will only go through the motherboard. So the motherboard also comes in sizes, right? So we have a bigger motherboard, we have a smaller motherboard, we have a tiny motherboard. Every computer system, right? Every system has a motherboard. Every computer system has a motherboard. Without a motherboard, a computer cannot operate. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If you understand why, why is it that without a motherboard, a computer cannot operate?
Because it is the brain of the computer. Because it is the
Nope.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Because without the motherboard, all the other components can connect and operate together.
Thank you. So without the motherboard, there's no way that all the components can be connected. Right? Who said that?
Prince.
Huh?
Prince 2.
Prince 2. Okay, thank you, Prince 2. Can you say that again?
Without the motherboard, the computer can't connect. Without the motherboard, the computer can't connect all the other components and operate together.
And operate together. Okay. Okay. So do we all understand? To my group, Frantic group, do you understand what he said?
Yes.
Okay. So in your own words too, right? In your own words, Tema, your own words, somebody tell me why about what he just said, that I just brought a question that without the motherboard, the computer will not work. Every unit in the whole world, every computer unit in the whole world should have a motherboard. And we all said yes. So Tema, why is it that without the motherboard, the computer won't work?
all the components are linked.
Why is it that the motherboard why?
You can also type.
Because all the components are linked to it one way or the other.
Okay. Okay, I see that you typed something. The motherboard is the main board that is screwed directly into the computer. Yeah, all the components linked to it one way or the other. Okay. So it is good that you guys know right now. I can confidently say that everyone listening to me knows what a motherboard is, right? So when you see a motherboard, when I come in and you go to the store and you see a motherboard, you can say that, okay, this is a motherboard. Motherboard comes in different sizes, just as case, right? That's when we're talking about the computer case, we said that it depends on the motherboard and the other components, right? So I will show you when I say every device, your watch, this watch has a motherboard. Everything has a motherboard. Your watch has a motherboard. Every computer device has a motherboard, right? This is a motherboard. This is a motherboard. Does this look like this big one? Huh?
No, sir.
It doesn't look like this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who can tell me the difference between this one and this one? This one right here, this big box. This guy, so I'm going to leave it right here. So this guy.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one is bigger than the other.
Correct. One is bigger than the other. So they are all motherboard, right?
Yes,
you know,
sir.
I said that they are what? Screwed, right?
Yes, sir.
Motherboard is screwed to the what? The case. Look at where I took the screws from. Right? So this is a motherboard. And look at how small the motherboard is. Some people can be, you see how small it look like chocolate. Right? This how small the motherboard is. You see how this how small. So motherboard also come in sizes. So if you want to buy, because if you are going to look for a motherboard is also come in sizes. And the main thing for a motherboard is to do what? Do connectivity, okay? So we are going to end over here with motherboard, what motherboard does. I don't want to put a whole lot on you so that we can have time to talk about, to go and study about the motherboard and also what it does. So I'm going to stop here and I'm going to ask questions, right? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
So last week we talked about what? Last week, what did we talk about?
Computer case.
Computer case.
Yes, sir.
And when you guys opened the computer case, what was the first thing that you saw? Huh?
Motherboard.
The motherboard. That is one of the first things that you saw, the motherboard. And today, and what did we say about the case that, and okay, and you saw the motherboard, and you looking at the motherboard, what have you learned today about what a motherboard is and what it does? Who can describe it? What a motherboard is and what a motherboard does, the functions of a motherboard.
I learned that motherboard is a green board inside the system unit. That's all the components of the system unit is connected on it.
Yeah, it's connected to, and what does it do? There's one main thing. When they connect to it, what does it do?
It means all the other components can operate together.
Okay, so we shouldn't miss the last one. They are all connected so that each component, all the components can communicate and operate together. That is the point that we have to make. Make sure that you put it, you understand that they are all connected. After they are all connected, all the component has to be able to communicate with each component and operate together. Do you understand? So who was speaking? Frederick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you say it again?
I said because the motherboard is a green board that all the components of the system unit connect on it, in which the
Go ahead.
so that all the components of the system unit can operate together.
Okay, can operate together. Okay.
Or communicate together.
Or communicate. Are you writing it down?
Yes, sir.
Okay, write it down. What about Tema? Identify the motherboard. Explain to us what the motherboard does. You can type it. Is somebody talking from Tema?
Motherboard
Motherboard coordinates.
Serves as a place for installing other crucial parts of the computer.
Oh, we didn't hear.
Motherboard coordinates various devices, serves as a place for installing other crucial parts of the computer.
Okay, So in your own words,
It's not practice.
in your own words, what you have seen, right? In your own words, what you have seen. Just look at it, look at from the board and explain to me from the board what you have seen. In your own words, not use crucial, no, in your own words. In your own words. I'm still waiting.
Please, the question. The motherboard is directly inside the
I'm waiting. So, Frederick, can you say it again?
The motherboard contains all the components that is connected to it and come with different sizes.
No, what is the function? What does it do?
It makes sure that everything in the computer.
It makes sure that what?
The motherboard contains the main components of the computer.
Okay, it contains okay, then what does it do?
It makes sure that everything in the computer communicates well and operates well.
Okay, did we all hear what he said?
Yes.
Okay, so based on that, I want Tema to tell me what a motherboard is. Look into your computer, the one that you've opened. Look inside. Tell me what. Explain it.
The motherboard is like a square board that is screwed directly inside the computer, and everything in the computer is connected to it.
And what does it do? What does it do? I am waiting. I am waiting.
And all other components are linked to it.
Okay, and all components are linked to it. And what does it do?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
It coordinates various devices.
Various devices. Okay.
Motherboard is a board.
It handles almost all
a system unit.
Hey, that one has a
So, so we all understand what it is, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for your homework, you remember last week the stuff that I gave you guys, right?
Yes, sir.
What did I give you guys last week?
inside
A computer desktop case.
Yep. So what I want you guys to go do, I'm giving you guys more time. That what you have to go do now is, today we talked about the motherboard. I want you to describe what a motherboard is, the colors that you see, whatever is connected to the motherboard. I want you to describe it. I want you to also tell me what it does. So like what Frederick said, that the motherboard is a board that all the components of the computer is connected to it. Why is it so that the components that are connected can communicate and operate together, right? So I want you guys to go and learn about it and fill that motherboard side. That what is a motherboard? You fill it out. What is a motherboard? You tell me what are the functions of the motherboard. Why is the motherboard in the computer? Why is it there? What is it doing? You tell me what it is in your own words. Don't go online and start bringing big English or big grammar. That it is the this, it is the no. Go in and just tell me what it does in your own words, right? If you can write tree, but we prefer English, right? So, yeah, so I wanted to show you guys what I'm talking about, but since we went through last week, and when you come next week, we will go through. I will pick one of you, your homework, so you have to do it. I will pick one of you, your homework, then I will put it on the screen so that we can all go through the homework for the case, and the homework for the motherboard. Do we all agree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today I will say that we all did well. If you all can clap for yourself. Yeah, you guys did well. You guys, today, the student of the day was, what's his name? Frederick.
Yes, sir.
Today, you are the student of the day. And
thank you, sir.
What's the other one's name?
Prince 2.
Prince 2.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Prince 2 is the assistant student of the day. I'm going to write your name down and try to see how many people will get student. The amount of student of the day that you get, will send you a gift.
Hey, ladies, the girls, you can't disappoint.
Hey. Today we'll send. So today it is Frederick and Prince 2. Frederick and Prince 2 they are the students of the day, right? I'm going to write their name down, and every week I have to get a student of the last week. There was no last week. Everybody was student of the day because you were able to open the computer. This week is Frederick and Prince 2. As Aunt Letitia said, ladies, you cannot disappoint. Okay, so we end our lesson for today, and next week we will continue. Anyone has any questions? Idra Fanti, do you have any question?
What about those who are typing the answers?
Huh? No, I didn't hear you.
What about those who are typing the answers?
Hey, that is a good one. Oh. That is a good one. So for now, those who are typing the answers, let me see. Nah. So to everyone, motherboard. So I know those who were typing the answers. But there's one that has been disqualified just in case. So I know those people that were typing. So that one, I will put their name in there that next time I will see if they will still participate more. Okay. So this people, I want to hear your voice and know that you know. So Miss Teresa. So it was only 2 people that were typing.
Teresa and Gabriel, good job.
Okay, so we'll continue next week. But please do your homework. Please do your homework. Next week, when we start, we will take one student and just go through it. Go through the motherboard.
Michael, KNC2 was really answering your question. So awesome job, Michael.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to, I know Gabriel, Michael, I'm going to write their names down so we know who gets a gift and who don't get a gift. Nitish, are you putting it down?
Yes.
Yes, so we know. Sadiq did not answer no question. Sadiq don't get anything. So there were 3 people answering the questions then. Okay. So he says Sadiq for Major, just in case. Okay, so do you have any more questions? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, teachers, the little time that we have, can you take them through and also help them to answer their questions? Then we'll come back next week to answer.
And if we can get pictures, that would be great, or videos with the kids explaining it in their own words too.
Okay.
That would be nice, please.
Okay. We heard that, teachers. If the kids can do a video too, that would be nice, explaining what they've learned. Because next week we will go through it. We'll call Frederick, we will call Miss Rose to explain. Oh, Miss Rose has run away. Okay, so good night, everyone.